Hi, well, it's Lisbeth on my 56th birthday in the morning, and I haven't published in a very long time, and I'm excited to get back to it. You know, sometimes I think, like, who wants to hear what I have to say? Like, I'm another talking head. But then there are other times that I think I love sharing my experience so much that I suppose if it's of use to somebody, it's worth sharing. I have thoughts. I just want to share the things that this is going to be completely impromptu, completely unscripted, but I woke up thinking about, like, what am I most grateful for in my experience of the last year now that I'm 56? And there are a lot of the same things that I always talk about, but they're like at a deeper level now. And I've just had this really amazing, like, I'm going to call it an awakening about myself and the way that I perceive the world. And this is gonna speak to my belief that, like, everything's an inside job, right? Whether it's our nervous system state and how it impacts absolutely everything that we think, feel, believe, say to ourselves and others, or it's like our patterning from our childhood of limiting beliefs about who we are and what's possible for us, or whatever it is, that the world shows up for us as a reflection of what lives inside of us. And because often we're creating it, right? We're creating. And whether you think of it's like manifesty, whatever, woo-woo stuff, or you just think of it as practical reality, like I'm choosing people, places, events, and experiences that are resonant or reflective of what I believe about myself, okay? And so I just have to say, it's an inside freaking job. It really is. And so I can tell you about my recent experience, but like, I'm so grateful I'm doing the work. I'm so grateful right now I'm doing this course with Sarah Baldwin about regulating the nervous system. And it's just getting to experience myself as a regulated person is like, oh, this is what it can feel like to be in my body. I mean, I know I've talked about this before, but it's even better. Like, oh, this is what it can feel like to just sit on that couch right there. I'm in Austin, Texas, by the way, and I'm just loving being here. I'm having so much fun. And I can sit on that couch and literally just love being myself on the couch, smelling the rain with the windows open. Like, I mean, everybody's like, oh, it's so nice to smell the rain. But like, there's a whole other level of like enjoyment of beingness that comes through nervous system regulation. And that means like, finding ways to bring yourself into out of fight or flight, or there are lots of, it's more complicated than that, but into sort of this rest and digest, like regulated present space. And it's like blowing my mind. And there's also been the work on my end of like, particularly in dating, like dating and relationships are my greatest teacher. Parenting has certainly been, and it's so beautiful to be like, oh, look at what I believe about men. Look at how I project on them and tell stories about them, and then meet more of a reality and then flip to like disgust or whatever. Like, I have this funny dynamic that was probably built in childhood around safety. I don't even know. I haven't pulled that apart. I don't even need to, because what I'm knowing is like, oh, everybody that's, if you're somebody who's been in a relationship with me and or, mostly you're my friends who have like watched me work through this, I can own, like, look at what I've drawn to me. Look at what I've created. Look at how I've shown up. It was a total awakening. And like, look at what I've allowed in my life. Look how I've allowed myself to be treated. And the most recent lesson has been like, so when I'm in a relationship, like often what I'm wanting so deeply is to be in a relationship, particularly with men that really like respect and adore me, and that there's reverence and cherishing, like all of this. This is what I want. This is what I want. But the latest waking up has been like, oh my God, I'm super not reverent with myself. I super don't cherish myself. Like, I don't give it to myself. And I've been told that, like, if you're wanting something in a relationship that you're missing or you're cranky about, like, look how you do it to yourself. Like, it's always like an inside job. And I was like, yeah. But then this last round, I'm like, it is. It actually is. Look at the situations I put myself in. Look at over and over. I can see it now. And I made a switch. About 10 days ago, 2 weeks ago. And then things are showing up a little differently. And I'm like, oh, look at that. Actually, there was kind of a miracle thing that happened on the one day that I was like, enough of that. Enough of sitting across from men who are like, you know, I don't know, self-serving or like just hungry, needy, whatever, trying to get a need met, and aren't really like respectful, reverent, thoughtful, kind. And I had this one experience with this guy where I projected all over him. It was just 2 dates. And then I was like met with like the reality of who he was. And I was like, what am I doing? What am I doing? No, no, and no. And like, here's how I'm gonna turn this back on myself, this like cherishing reverence, and I'm not gonna get into that. And then that day magnificent things happened. And I was like, all right, there it is, there it is. So on my 56th birthday, I would say to you, what I'm most grateful for is the work, the inside work that's allowing me to experience life in a really different way. Because I am loving my life so much right now. And am I going like this? Like, am I like going into the depths of stuff? Like, do I have days like a couple days ago where I was so overwhelmed with like the planet and the treatment of women and, you know, and my own situation? I totally do. But then I can come back up into a place of like such intense gratitude and joy the last thing I'm going to say is like coming to recognize like my highest value is freedom. Like, do I want to be married and in a deep relationship one day? I absolutely do. But freedom in my life to recognize my sovereignty, to recognize my power to affect my own experience, freedom in my emotional life, freedom in my psychological life, freedom to express myself, like freedom in all ways is my highest currency. And it's really fun to be like, oh, you're doing it. You're living your value. And this moment, and I know often when I come on here, I feel this way, but my singleness is awesome. And yes, I do eventually want to be in a relationship, but I'm having so much fun. I've had so many adventures in which I'm like, oh, I'm so grateful. This world is so full of possibility, and people are so amazing. And everywhere there are opportunities to get what I need in small ways from the world. The world shows up in surprising ways. In fact, I got a birthday message this morning at 12 a.m. that just was like, that met something that I very much wanted. And I was so surprised by it. I was just like, look at that. From the entire world. And there've been just a whole bunch of lovely birthday messages this morning. But like, I'm being shown that I am loved, which is an experience I very much want to have, knowing that I am loved. I just have to be willing to see it and take it in. I just have to be willing to be open to knowing that it comes to me. Love is coming for me all the time. I just have to be willing to see it and take it in. Okay, this is a lot of disparate thoughts, but I just wanted to say, like, you guys, 56 is awesome. Midlife is awesome. I miss my kids and love them so much, and empty nesting is awesome. If you guys are watching this, know that I just completely adore and miss you, and I can't wait to see you next week, Angus. And I miss my Finn, you know, I really do. And like the freedom to explore myself at this level is an incredible gift. And I wish it for you as well. Okay, thanks for listening.